Welcome to the Compr Tour. So as you start out, depending on your plan, you may or may not see some of these buttons. But to start out just real simple, you have your address bar here, which you can start by putting your address in. So for here, I'm just going to go ahead and paste in my address that I want to select. Should see your drop down here. And then once you can confirm that this is the house via satellite view, all of your details. Then next you click yes, confirm that is the house. Now, here, what's really great about Compr is you can either add your photos manually, you could do a guided capture if you are running any sort of acquisitions or investments in person and you're at the house as we speak, or you could just go ahead and paste photos links in here, right? So then once you're done, you click continue. Now, with Compr, of course, there's 6 different exits that you can choose from. I'm going to go ahead and select wholesale because that's what we're doing here. And then while we're doing that, it should load up and boom, there comes your Compr report as soon as humanly possible. From here, right in the big center piece, you have your offer here from Compr. You have your after repair value, your rehab estimate, and of course, in case you change your mind or you want to see what kind of offers can come by based if you are doing multiple different exits, you can click each one here below. And then of course, for the Compr, it can give you a breakdown of how it got to its numbers, of course. And why it got to its numbers. And then at any moment in time, you can click your reset button and go from there. Again, depending on the plan, for here, we have our hedge fund matching tool. You have your review reasons to see, what Compr's engine is flags, anything else that it had to do, whether it needed to, widen the radius or anything that it needs. From here, you have your subject property information, which then you can click in and actually see the photos that you pasted, make sure everything's correct. And you can do your due diligence right from inside Compr. It'll then pull in all the details about the property and extra details that you did not give Compr. So when you have rent estimate here that shows $22.90, talks about having non-garage, tenant and vacancy, has the owner of record here, the APN, and then also you can select any sort of Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, or Street View of the property. So again, you can go deeper on your due diligence. Next up, you have your vision analysis, which gives you your quality score as well as your condition score. And with your condition score up here with your components, it'll give you a 1 to a 5 range, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best, as well as it'll give you notes of each individual thing that Compr's vision tool with its language learning model has selected based on the photos you gave it. And it gives comments for each one while also showing you exactly what it's talking about. So here's this missing kitchen cooktop and range and refrigerator, which from here is absolutely correct, right? So from there, you can keep looking in through this. And then from the other section, you have popcorn ceilings visible in multiple of the photos. And as you can see, as we scroll through some of these photos, you can see popcorn ceilings. Here, it's very obvious on the top side. Now, from where the best part is of Compr is the comparable sales. This is where Compr's engine really shines. It pulls from multiple data sources. We have over 5 data sources that it pulls from, as well as scraping the county records, fact checks all of its data. And of course, the vision tool language learning model is also looking at all of your comparables to decide a really good after repair value of the property. If you're doing innovation or listing, it also looks at as is comps, as well as comps that are active on the market or pending. Again, it looks at through all these things as far as comparables are concerned, as if it was a licensed appraiser, right? The vision tool, again, also looks at these comparables and then dissects each photo and sees, is this comp really an after repair value or is it an as is value? So you have the most accurate, highest data. Now, with that being said, with these photo visuals, you can see on each top left side, there's the C2 conditions, C3 conditions. And of course, if you have any questions on that, you can always go to the support button on the bottom right, or you can simply go here and hover over the question mark of what C2 means, renovated like new throughout, and you could read through these as well. These toggle sliders, you can always do the toggle sliders in real time. It should live update these numbers. And as you go down, you get your condition, you get your vision. Now you have your comparables. You now have your adjustment breakdowns to look at each of your comps. So from here, I can go ahead and see why Compr went up or down. Comp has more bedrooms, maybe less half bath. The condition is different, the ARV weighted. With that, the engine will determine an adjusted actual comp valuation. So it thinks based on our selected subject property versus this comp, it truly thinks that the adjusted valuation of this property compared to ours is about 364 if you want to compare it 1-to-1, right? 364, 345, and 414. Now here you can look at all these adjustment breakdowns. What's really nice about the Compr tool is you can either click select to use the comp, or if you simply don't like the comp, again, you can unuse the comp. Once you unuse the comp, you can always drop a reason in here of why you're not selecting comp, or select other and type in a reason. And the language learning model, as well as Compr, will self-learn each month. It actually goes through all of everybody's response rates and does a weighted engine approval and update to the engine each and every single month. Now, if none of these comps are to your liking, you can also click add a comp from here, and you could paste just a realtor, Zillow link, or any sort of link that has an online tie to an address, or you can simply just type in the address and Compr will find it for you and manually add from there. You also have the Mayo breakdown, which kind of finishes out the Compr's tool, which gives you a real adjustment of how it came up with its numbers and why it came to the offer it came with. What's really great about Compr is that the engine for the percentage of ARV or what other exit percentage you're doing, it's looking at over 100 different items to determine why it's at its percentage, whether it be it's a rural market, it's not in a metropolitan, or it's not in any sort of main MSA. Maybe, for instance, that it is one of those markets that has low volatility. It also looks at what are the actives on the market versus the solds, and what is the average days on market of that specific area, that specific subdivision. And when it looks at all those things, it will either minus off percentage points for the percentage of ARV, or it might add percentage of ARV to dial in a really cute number, right? If for some reason you don't agree with this number, again, this is all editable. You can also edit your wholesale fee. For mine, for this instance, it did not ask me the question of a wholesale fee because I have it saved inside of my settings here. So that brings me to my next part. If we go back up and let's say you dial in your settings or your map, you can use this map function feature. You can either pin the map, scroll down, take a look at your comps while you're waiting and see and compare. You can click into each comp. Again, look at the Zillow Realtor link and everything like that. If you're saying, which one is this one comparative to the ones on the bottom? Because Compr will sometimes bring you 10, 20 properties in this comp list. You can just simply click view comp, and it'll go ahead and do that. All you have to do is unpin this map. It'll take it right back to the top, which is beautiful. And then even deeper, if you ever want, if you have a comp that maybe crosses the highway or doesn't make sense, or it skips another subdivision that you don't like, and you know your certain market, you can go in here and you could draw a circle to exclude certain comps. And from there, once you exclude certain comps, it should automatically update its map position as well as its comparables. Now, the great thing with Compr is that we built in here, as you can see, we have flood zones built into the map. You can switch to a satellite view if you'd like to get more detailed oriented. You can go and expand into a full screen so you can really get deep on your neighborhood and understanding what's going on inside your neighborhood. And as you can see, if I scroll out here from the map, you see that these highways turn orange. The reason why that happens with the highways turns orange is we know when we're doing comparables that you do not want to cross highways, right? So this is a good visualizer tool to help you out. And you can even go back to your subject property as well. So that kind of finishes out the map. And again, when you're getting dialed in, the one thing that's really important, if you don't want to keep readjusting your wholesale fees, your novation fees, or any sort of different exits that you're looking for, you can go in here to settings, go inside your deal economics, and you can update your buy box. You can include pendings or under contract comps if you would like. Some people do, some people don't. You can show active and pending comps counts on every single exit. You can update your desired wholesale fee and novation fee, like I said, and save these changes. I want these changes saved. As you can see, mine was 10,000. Of course, that's why it automatically popped in to the Mayo breakdown, the $10,000 fee for the wholesale here, right? So as we go back up into our settings for deal economics, what's really beautiful about this, you can update your profile. You can go into any of your plan and building, upgrade your plan if you run out of comps. You can even tie it back to your CRM with Zapier webhooks. And depending on your plan, you can even tie it to your CRM directly with a API or MCP. Last but certainly not least, for the top right section of Compr, you have the ability to run two different types of reports. So one is a rerun. If you don't agree with it, or maybe let's say you have updated photos, you can always click this rerun button. And then what you could do is either paste the new link of the photos. If you want to look at it without looking at the photos, or however you want, you can still add photos, do a guided capture if you're at the house again, and then you could click a refresh underwrite. And with all these new details updated, Compr is going to run those details brand new, fresh in your account. This comp report will stay in your account safely for at least 30 days in the database. And then anything outside of 30 days or older, it will delete. But in the meantime, if you have other teammates or underwriters, what you could do is you can have this report saved and everybody can resort back to it. Now, with the next step, you have your report link. So this report link, if you have the normal report, it is a full report, not hiding anything here with a vision analysis, comparable sales, subject property. This exact report will have a unique link that you could share with anybody inside your sphere or outside your sphere as far as your company's concerned. Now, I always suggest if you are doing your report link, I internally like to use this link. The reason why we have a public link versus internal link is because with the normal report link, you have your max allowable offer, which will show your wholesale fee, your profit margins, and anything like that. If you're presenting this to a seller, presenting this as a buyer, or if you're just trying to protect your interests as far as negotiations or anything like that and not spook anybody, then you can go towards a public link. And what's nice about the public link is you click this, it'll automatically create a link for you, create a public link, and then from there you could paste it and it'll actually hide the max allowable offer breakdown. So it still gives the person the report of how you got to your numbers, where your ARV was, where your rehab was once you get dialed in. But it doesn't necessarily show them how the bread was made as far as how much money you're making and everything like that. You could also save a PDF of the report. Once you click this, it'll automatically build a PDF of this exact report, which you could print out, send to clients, meet them at the kitchen table, negotiate, and show them this report as if it was an RPR report, any sort of MLS report, which is beautiful. Appraisers can use this. Anybody else can use this as far as investors are concerned. And once you save the file, it'll automatically be a PDF eligible and printable. Now, last but certainly not least, you have your notifications bar and you have your teammates section, right? So if you have your team here, you can add all of your teammates as much as you can. You can have them, depending on what you want them, an admin of your analyst, and you can go in here and you can actually tag your teammates in the comp. This one is, and once you tag them in here, it'll obviously leave a note, post a comment, they can react to it and they can respond back themselves. What's also nice about this is that you can also send this, like I said, connecting to Zapier. Here's a button on the top right to be able to send this immediately to your CRM. And then anytime your teammates, where they notify you back and forth, this will come to the bell icon and you can get your notifications. From there, you have your final step, which is running more comps with Compr. Because again, Compr is going to be so fast, you can run comps in under 60 seconds and do as many as you possibly can to find the best deal possible. And that's what Compr is all about. So thank you so much for the Compr demo. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via the support question here, which would take you to support with any of your common questions, explanation of the condition scale and the quality scale, or you can simply join our Discord server or even still contact support, and we will get back with you as soon as we possibly can. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.